spooked. And if you want to know why I'm spooked, it's October, spooky season. The year is almost over. Very spooky. And I'm seeing a lot of TBR videos. And TBRs are the spookiest of them all because we don't do TBRs over here. We do TBDs. And I have 10 books on my TBD. And if you don't know what a TBD stands for, that means to be determined. I'm a mood reader. You guys know me. I love the horrors. I love the thrillers. I love all the spooks and kooks. And October is the perfect time to get into it. The first book I'm going to talk about, which also happens to be the October book club pick for my Fable book club, is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. If you're interested in joining my book club, it is on Fable. It is free to join. The book club members actually picked this book, and this one by kind of a landslide. So I'm really excited about it. I don't know much about this book, but I do know it's pretty popular. This is about a man named Oliver who has been in prison for the last 10 years. When he is finally released, the detective that put him away has some questions for him, and Oliver is ready to spill the beans. So apparently Oliver was part of the cast of a Shakespeare play, and this play turned real ugly. Emily St. John Mandel actually blurbed this. She wrote Station 11, and she said, "This is a rare and extraordinary novel, a vivid rendering of the closed world of a conservatory education, a tender and harrowing exploration of friendship, and a genuinely breathtaking literary thriller." I love that. I did not know anything about this until everyone in the book club was like, "Please put this one in the poll." Calm down, I did it, and y'all picked it. So we're gonna get into this. I have seen covers of this book floating around, and I think I may have to collect them. Call me Ash Ketchum, because I gotta catch them all. Next up, and a book that I have actually completed in the month of October is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I'm actually gonna wait till my October wrap up to talk about this book, but as you can see, your girl tabbed it. I gave it 4 stars, I will say that. So we have Maggie, and Maggie is famous because her father wrote a nonfiction novel called House of Horrors, and it was detailing the account of Maggie, her mom, and her dad moving into this house that has a lot of very haunting history. Maggie has an opportunity to revisit this house 25 years later and is trying to uncover some things. You know, the age-old tale. You know, it is what it is. And this was exciting. I was jumpy. Like my dog, I was sitting in my reading chair and my dog was on the floor right in front of me. He picked up his toy and walked out of the room, and I jumped. Like, I knew he was there. Read this book. This is a good one for spooky season. The next book I have on my TBD is one that I've actually completed already as well, and it is All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby. This is my first S.A. Cosby, and spoiler alert, there's another one in the stack. I kind of tabbed this one as well, which I'm not a tabber, but I've recently been getting into it. I almost fell and busted my badonkey. I'm not gonna give too much of a review because I also wanna save that for my October wrap up, but I will say I enjoyed this. I gave it a 4. My only issue is Titus, the main character. He was just too macho for me. He's too much of a man for me. I listened to this on the audio, and I don't know if it was because of the narrator, which I love the narrator. It just seemed like every end of a chapter was like some really dramatic, like, thing. Wait, I'm trying to find one. Like, I even wrote an annotation that was like a little dramatic. Like, are we just being really dramatic? Rich coming from me. I know. Hold your tongue. Okay? Mind your manners. I know I'm dramatic. I know. But am I a giant hypocrite? Maybe. Anyway, I just thought the main character was really dramatic. I loved him. I would love for him to protect me. And speaking of that, let me tell you what this is about. This is a murder mystery novel, and we are following Titus, who is the first Black sheriff to ever be elected in a county in Virginia. And he meets a lot of resistance from the white people in this county. People look at him weird. People don't respect him. So he is really having to prove himself. There's a shooting that takes place, and this young Black man kills this very well-loved teacher in this county. And of course, the city is up in arms about all of this because obviously there's some racial tension here. That murder opens up an entire can of worms. Like, I don't want to say more because I think you should read it, but it is, wow. Like, I just felt like I was getting hit. Like, I was just getting repeatedly just like knocked out. That's me getting knocked out. The Tampa Bay Times blurbed this and said, compelling characters, dark plot twists, mordant humor, and ruthless violence. A riveting ride. Facts. This is disturbing. It's dark. It is, you should go read it. And I said I don't want to say more, but that's what I gotta say about it. Next up is a book that I'm really excited about. It's Salem's Lot by Stephen King. This will be my second ever Stephen King book. I actually vlogged reading my first one, Misery, if you want to go watch that. But I will also be vlogging this book, reading Salem's Lot, and vlogging myself watching the movie. There is a movie adaptation remake on Max, the streaming service. It actually came out a few days ago, but I am going to read this book, watch the movie, and I will be vlogging it. I know nothing about this book except Stephen King wrote it, and I'm a peasant. Someone told me in the comments of my September wrap-up video that Stephen King calls his fans, I think they said constant readers. I don't fit the bill. I'm not constantly reading. I wish I could, but I prefer to be called a peasant. And that is how I will refer to myself and all Stephen King fans from now on. I'm a peasant. I think this has to do with like zombies. I think it would be really fun to vlog myself reading all of Stephen King's works. I know it's probably going to take years, but I love this house on the cover. I don't know what that means, but it looks like someone is setting it on fire to purify it. I don't know. Is that too niche? Is that not fit the bill? I don't know. I've said fit the bill twice in this video, and I don't think I've ever even said it twice in my entire life up until this point. This is on the docket to read, so be on the lookout for that reading and watching vlog, which I'm very excited about. What else? I guess I'll just talk about the other book that I think I'm gonna vlog, and that is The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. This is her newest release, and this is also the Book of the Month edition. This was one of the October picks, which I thought was really interesting. So the little tagline says, she's looking for the perfect man, he's looking for the perfect victim. And that's all I'm gonna say. I do believe dating apps are involved in this, but I don't know. Is he the man of your dreams or your worst nightmare? There's just so many like weird little taglines. I have read a lot of her books, most of them. I've read 13 of her books, but I also know what I'm getting into. The expectations are under the floor for her, but I have a good time. I don't really see the plot twist coming because they are so out of pocket that there's no way I could guess them with my puny little brain power that I have or don't have. But I will be doing a reading vlog, and I've heard that people's biggest gripe about this is that there's just one twist. And Frida is known for a big reveal and then like mini twists throughout the last like 20% of the book. So I think it'd be really fun to try to solve what's happening or to try to guess the plot twist in like a spoilery reading vlog. So I think that one is gonna be fun to do. Her books are always really fast to get through. I probably will read this on my Kindle because I read faster on my Kindle, but I will be reading. I love slapping a good hardcover. Anyway, I don't know why. I'm not violent, I promise. I just am insane. That's neither here nor there. So this one will be exciting. I think that'll be a fun little reading vlog. I really enjoy doing reading vlogs, so I think I'm gonna be doing more. I have a really fun one coming up next week that none of the books for that one will be on that list because I haven't picked them yet, but I'm obviously shooting for a really big month. I only read, I say only, there's nothing wrong with reading 5 books. I just have been very inconsistent with the number of books I've been reading per month, and I really want to finish strong, and there are just so many spooky books to get to, and I just love the spooky vibe, so I'm going to try to push myself really hard in October. So that being said, the books that I am going to be doing for another reading vlog that is really fun, those are not included in this because I haven't picked them yet. So there are, just know that. The next 2 books are from 2 authors that I've already mentioned in this video already. But this one is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. And this one is on the docket because I am trying to complete Riley Sager's entire backlist. I have read 4 of his, I think 8 books. Yeah, because I've read The Only One Left, House Across the Lake, Home Before Dark, and Middle of the Night. And I have Lock Every Door, The Last Time I Lied, Final Girls, and Survive the Night, I think are the other 4. Am I missing one? I think those are it. So this one is up next. I have no idea what it's about because I actually do. I do know what this is about. This is about an apartment sitter who apartment sits for very rich people who will not be around for a while. So they basically like move into this apartment, and this whole building is full of apartment sitters. And I think someone either goes missing or passes away. They go missing. I think this is going to be pretty on par with his other books where there's an element that is just wild and wonky, but it kind of mentions it on the back. So we'll see. I never know what to expect from him, but I do feel like his books are just so eat-upable. They're like popcorn. They are so eat-upable. I would say the same thing about Miss Frida over here. They're just eat-upable. I appreciate them for that. So, R.L. Stine, Goosebumps author, favorite thriller of the year. When was this written? Because I don't believe you. What other thrillers came out in 2019? Because I don't believe you when you say it's your favorite thriller of the year. I do believe this one is pretty hit or miss. I don't know. I don't want to go into it with too many assumptions. I want to enjoy the book, and I think I still will, but it's just, I don't know. Are you going to give me what I want? Are you going to give me what I want? We'll have to see. My biggest hope with most of these books is that I'm spooked. This one I don't really expect to be super spooked by, but all the other ones I feel like there is a good level of spooknificity. And that's what I'm living for. That is the reason I am breathing today. The opportunity to be spooked by an October read. The next book by a repeat October author is Blacktop Wasteland by S.A. Cosby. This is the only other S.A. Cosby I own, and I had such a good time with All the Sinners Bleed, which actually, and I love when books do this. I have a little tab that says, oh, you might not be able to see it. Can you see that? I don't know. I have a tab that says the title, and I love when books like interweave the title of the book in. And the line says, but only the sinners bleed, Sheriff. While it's not exactly the title, it's the title. I wonder if that's an element in all of his books. I'll be on the lookout. I just love when it all kind of ties in together. But this is another high-paced thriller. I'm going to read the back. Once known as the best getaway driver east of the Mississippi, Beauregard Bug Montague, I don't know how to pronounce it, has never stopped looking over his shoulder. He knows that no matter how long he's been out of the life, no one ever gets out completely, and life is capitalized. Interesting. Now, Bug is an honest mechanic, a loving husband, and a hardworking dad. But when his carefully built new life begins to crumble, and a former associate comes calling with a can't-miss jewelry store heist, Bug feels he has no choice but to get back in the driver's seat. Haunted of the ghost of who he used to be and the father who disappeared when he needed him most, Bug must find a way to navigate this blacktop wasteland or die trying. And one thing I didn't mention, I'm going to save it for the review. Sorry. This says full throttle thriller. That is a mouthful. Lots of L's and T's in there. I'm very excited about this one too. I will definitely be listening to the audiobook probably for all of these because that's just how I roll. And yeah, so excuse my stack here. Next I have Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak, and this is a very popular thriller that I have not read. I'm actually going to be emceeing an event, and he is one of the attending authors, so I'm trying to read books from all of the authors that'll be at the event before I hosts the event, and the other authors, which I'm super excited about, Lucinda Berry, who is my all-time favorite author. I have read every single thing that she's ever written. She's going to be there. Monica Aria is going to be there, and Mark Jenkins is going to be there. So if you're interested, I will leave a link to the tickets. It will be in Nashville, Tennessee, October 24th, and any other details will be in that link. So if you're interested, come hang out with your girl and these amazing authors. All I know about this book is that there is a child who is drawing some really creepy pictures, and people love this book and are so shocked when I say I haven't read it yet. I don't want to know more about it, except that there is something going on with the pictures that this child is drawing. I don't know. Let's read some. Are there some blurb? Oh, Grady Hendrix blurb this? A perfect summer thriller complete with vengeful spirits, class warfare, and it even has pictures. What more could you want? That's from Grady Hendrix, and Grady Hendrix is silly, so I trust you with everything within me. This one will be fun, and there's someone with a shovel on the cover of this book, which this book cover is really pretty. I love the coloring, but I don't know what that's about, but someone's digging something, and hopefully I'll be digging this book. All right, the next book that I'm actually currently reading is We Came to Welcome You by Vincent Tirado. And I actually saw this book from Jan, who y'all are probably sick of me talking about her, but I love her. Jan pitched this book kind of like a Get Out meets Midsummer, culty, social commentary. I am eating it up. I am 103 pages into this. The audiobook is fabulous, and it is really giving that. This book is the creepiest book I've ever read. I'm only a third of the way through, but I can confidently say this is the creepiest book I've ever read. I'm gonna read this little tagline here. The Other Black Girl meets Midsummer in this spine-chilling, propulsive psychological adult debut from highly acclaimed author Vincent Tirado, in which a married couple moves into a gated community that slowly creeps into a pervasive dread akin to the social horror of Jordan Peele in Lovecraft County. We Came to Welcome You cleverly uses the uncanny to illuminate the cultish, shocking nature of systemic racism. My goodness. Like, this is just everything. This is spooky. So we have Sol, who I believe is Black and Dominican, and her wife, Alice, who is Asian. They move into this, like, too good to be true, perfect neighborhood. And as soon as, immediately, when they sit the last box down off the moving truck, there's a knock at the door. And there are 3 people who are talking about them joining the HOA. Like, they can't even get into the house yet. And they're very creepy. And of course, they're like kind of creeped out about it. They're like, well, think about it, but probably not. The weird things are weird. Very, very, very weird. There are, oh no, I just lost my bookmark. Sorry, please hold. My bookmark is just like a stack of tabs that I'm using. Anyway, I've actually been tabbing like the microaggressions and really racist things that these neighbors are saying to these people's face. One of them is, it's so exciting to have a Yale researcher here with us, and looks at Alice, who is the Asian woman in the couple. Meanwhile, the Yale researcher is Sol, the Black and Dominican person in the relationship. Someone says, Yale, good to know affirmative action still working in your favor. What? What else? Oh, by the way, you have such lovely hair, Roy murmured, his hand moving up from the nape of her neck into her curls. Absolutely not. Do not lay a finger on these curls. What is wrong with you, Roy? What the heck? That is horrifying in itself. I'm excited to finish this one. It's very interesting, and there are less than 500 ratings on this book on Goodreads, which is surprising. No one's talking about this book except Jan, hey girl, and me. So we'll see what the ending is giving. I'm a third of the way through, so I'm very excited to finish this. And the final book on our October TBD is Immortal Dark by Tik Tok. This one is interesting. This is Black vampires. Dark academia. I know nothing else about this book except that it's freaking gorgeous. Let's have a look-see at the glare. I'm right in front of my window, so. No soul can enter without an invitation. So this one is really interesting. I do believe this is YA. I know very little about this, except this is blowing up on TikTok, and I am easily influenced. Chloe Gong, who wrote These Violent Delights, actually blurbed this. Entirely irresistible, you won't be able to look away. Let's read. A lost heiress, a soulless vampire, a secret drenched in blood. It began long before my time, but something has always hunted our family. And I've heard this is giving like Twilight, but make it melanated. So I am excited about this. Orphaned heiress. So I know the author of this book put a TikTok up of how to pronounce all of her character names and like locations and all the things in the book. But oh my gosh, look at this book. Oh my gosh. So pretty. And there's a map, which is the bane of my existence. I don't want to read this blurb because I fear it might confuse me before I even start. And I want to go in with a fresh slate because I'm not a big fantasy girly. I do, of course, horrors, thrillers. I love a literary fiction. But anything that requires like sources, I gotta come back to just to understand. Sources being maps and character glossaries and things like that. It kind of ruins my vibe. No offense to the fantasy readers. Love y'all. I'm just trying to get more into it, but this seems like a really good one for spooky season, and I really wanted to diversify my reading for the month so I don't get sick of just reading spooky books, because you know how it is sometimes when you read too much of the same thing, you can get pretty sick of it, and I didn't want that to happen. So I tried to diversify all of the reads for this month, and I think I did a pretty good job. That's it and that's all. I am very excited for October. I have some really, really cool stuff planned for YouTube, so I hope that you guys stick around, and I'll see you guys around. My next video is going to be a reading vlog of The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager, and all of my thoughts, because I have lots of thoughts. This is what I have for my, almost dropped it. This is what I have for my October TBD. I'm so excited. I'm pre-spooked. Can I say that? I'm pre-spooked. Actually, these two books really spooked me enough, especially this one. It's doing what it needs to do, but I'm excited. Let me know what you have planned, reading or otherwise, for October. It's such a fun month. The weather is changing. It's getting a little bit cooler. The leaves are turning. We're getting into the holiday season, which I know most people do enjoy. So I'm so excited. It's my favorite time of the year. If you can't tell, I am just a cheesin'. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a blessed day, a blessed night, blessed life. And I will see you in the next one. Don't be spooked. You're allowed to leave. Just go that way. Just kidding. What happens if you get scared half to death twice? Has anyone ever thought about that? You never want to leave me, and I get it. I really do. I'm incredible. Too far? Okay. Y'all always make me hang up first. Okay, bye.